Welcome to episode 9 of the Railroads Online track building tutorials. And where we left off from last episode, I have built in the cordwood side, the same as the log side. And one thing we need to do down here at the bottom is, I'm not real fond of deep groundworks. So what we'll do is everywhere down here where there's deep groundworks, we'll just delete the segments out. And I reckon that one as well. And we'll just delete each segment of the really deep groundworks out. And we can replace that with a different kind of groundworks. All you've got to do is build over the top of where it previously was. And with this one we'll put stonewall. We only need a constant. And you start, and you've got to try and get your first click, you've got to try and get it as center as you possibly can. And then just snap it to every segment of the track as you go around. All the way to the end of the curve. And then overlap at 1. That's the point. And there we go, that's replaced the deep gravel with some stone wall, which seems to look a little bit better for the really deep sections. Now the next thing I want to show you is how to place in the water tower and firewood depots. Now this is a spot down here that's got a nice area to put in both of them. Now, the first one is the water tower. The water tower is actually very easy to place. There is a running board along the front which helps you line it up. And all you have to do is line it up to the edge of, and it sounds a lot easier than what it actually is because it moves very, very fast when you start looking down slightly. You need to line that board up with the edge of the tyres. Of course it's going to be painful for me, isn't it? There we go, I reckon that's pretty close. And there we go, lined up with the edge of the tyres. And now when we pull that down, it should be centre of the tracks. And that's level. About there's where you have it when it's over the train, and there we go, nicely centre of the tracks. And this is easiest done to place your water tower when you don't have the groundwork in the way, otherwise you can't see that board where it is along the edge of the tyres. Now another handy one for aligning the, and this isn't actually mine, I didn't work this one out, I'm just using the same method that another person on the Discord showed, and it is using a cross-track L shape to align where the firewood depot needs to go. There we go, that's enough. Now if you line the legs of the firewood depot up to this beam here, it will be the right distance from the track over there on the loading side. So we'll give that a go. Firewood depot. We need to step back a bit to make sure that we're not going to get the... So it's in about that position we want it. So we'll come forward and... Oh no, it went up in the air. We've got to make sure it's down on the ground. So I'll try and line it up with the legs. Just touching the edge of that centre board on the cross tracks. And we'll try with that right there like that. Let's have a look and see how close we are. And I reckon that's crooked. Unlike most things in Railroads Online, you will put it in, you won't like it, you'll delete it, and you'll try again. we're going to find the spot where it drops down level. It's along here. This time we'll try and come a little bit closer so we can see it better. So it's not straight. You've got to get the one that's on the left and the one that's on the right at about the same distance. Try that. See, that one's touching and that one's overlapped there. So no, that's not going to be straight either. Delete it and try again. This can be frustrating. And never have I gotten one in that I'm happy with straight on the first attempt. That. Where are we on that one? So we're only just touching and we still don't have it straight. Try again. This is something that the devs need to work on to have a better way to be able to line these things up. To the track. And I think that's the best placement I've gotten yet. Just touching. Let's have a look and see how we went on this side. And that looks better. Okay, so we can put this bit of groundworks here back that I took out to be able to put the, and we will overlap one segment so we don't get any funny. That should snap to there, there it goes. Works better if you run down the track. Okay, and we want to put one of them on there. And of course it won't let me put it in there now. It doesn't matter, we'll work from the next one. Rails, I want to remove that one. And we want to leave two of these here because I'm going to show you a little trick for how to do a right angled corner. So that's turning through a perfect quarter of a circle. Now I've drawn a little map for this. And if you see here, if you put a cross track and go one to the side with another cross track, put two switches and then a cross track at the end, and then turn 90 degrees to the left and put another two cross tracks, it will fit a 25-degree corner perfectly between there and the turnout of the next switch track. So we'll have a go at building that. So we've already got our two cross tracks there. So I'll put a switch here. And another switch here. And we want a cross track on the end. And we want to put another switch here. Another switch here, and well, that's already got us at the quarter turn of the circle. And we need another one on the end of here, and these should all snap level, and you can see they're slightly floating off the ground, even without groundworks underneath them. And we need to put a cross track on the end because that's the finish. Move that one and put the turnout back facing the opposite direction, and we want to be turned out that way with the on the right. Now between this point here, around this curve here, it should be 25 degrees. So we'll have a try at building a curve around there. First things first, we need to put down some groundworks, and we'll pull out a single straight length to the end. If you ever need to use these groundworks as a measuring device, the stonewall groundworks at full length is 50 meters long, and the gravel groundworks at full length is 100 meters long. Pull that across to there. And we'll just fill in these holes a little bit along here so we've got a nice big flat area to build the corner on. That should be plenty. Come back over here and continue this corner across the cross track to start off with. First segment will start to turn in with 5, and then we'll go up to 25. And build all the way around the corner. And fingers crossed, mathematics correct, we should finish up lined into that turnout. And one more corner. No, I don't think we are lined into there. It's very close. And because we've connected straight to the end and not across the cross track, for the last segment, you must build it up on top to get this segment to follow the curve. And I'll remove the one that's on the top. And no, I'm not happy with that. That has not lined up straight for me. There's a slight wobble there. And I think it has to do with this cross track here. So, to solve that, we build back the other way. Back to about here where we've got 7. And we use the same control points that we did for the previous one. And we start building around using the previous control points. And so yeah, look at that, that's a 26 on that corner, and if we go 25 it's too far to the left. So this one segment we're going to have to put it in at 25.5, and then we can go back to and there we go. And before we remove that, we will go to rails and we will remove first corner we put in underneath. Right click down that spline. Remove the piece up off the top. And that's much better. There's no wobble in the track by building backwards and moving that one control point over. Now, of course, it would be a good idea, and I'll do it off camera, is if I start from this point here and make this entire length one spline by building again over the top of all the control points and deleting what's underneath, so that it becomes one single spline instead of being 2 or 3 splines. It's much better on the computer performance. And there we go, we have connected around a left-hand bend for a perfect 1/4 of a circle. Now I'll do the next one because I've got to do exactly the same thing again off of this track to connect up over here, and I'll do that off camera. And then I've got to put in the big long circle that connects around on here, and I'll also do that off camera, so that when I meet you again in the next episode, we will be somewhere down near that cross track in the distance that we can nicely see the flag of, ready to start to build the grade that runs down back to the plane. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode.